wanted to help support their minds, their bodies, and their hearts, meaning their emotions. And you probably know if you've got kids, they face a lot in their little lives. Sometimes they come home and they're upset about something. Sometimes something happens at school or somebody says something. They need to be able to process emotions. And we wanted to empower them to be able to do that themselves. We wanted to give them tools, help them work through whatever they came up against. Now, the way that we went about getting this kit done is we wanted to involve kids right from the beginning. So, this is a picture of one of my little girls. She's my baby, in fact. And she and a lot of our other kids, the kids of the scientists at DOTERRA, came to our corporate campus. And they were in their little lab coats, and they were in the lab with us, telling us, oh, this smells good. And how does this make you feel? Oh, this makes me feel good. We wanted to know from the kids what would be effective for them. So, you can see over there on the side, we had them fill out a little survey where they would circle a smiley face if they liked it. And they would circle a frowny face if they hated it. Most of the time they didn't hate it, thank goodness. But they would tell us, how does this blend make you feel? What does this blend smell like to you? We went through months of that kind of testing. We wanted to make sure this was just right. So we had lots and lots of kids helping us develop it and test it. So what we came up with were some blends that were very unique to DOTERRA, very well tested on kids who knew what they were talking about and they knew what they wanted. So let's talk about each of these blends and talk about why they're special and how you might be able to incorporate them into your family's life. Now before we start, I'll just dispel a quick myth. This is called the Kids Kit, and we developed them especially for kids. But the biggest myth is they're not just for kids to use. I'll be the first to say it, I use these blends too, every day. They are wonderful, and although they're formulated with little kids' noses and little kids' bodies in mind, they are absolutely effective for grown-ups too. So if you have kids or nieces or friends or whatever, this can benefit you as well as you use it with them. Okay, so for the mind, we have some blends called Thinker and Calmer. Okay? So we knew that we wanted a blend to support children as their minds are growing, as they're developing, as they're in school, as they're learning. We knew we wanted to support their minds too at the end of the day or anytime during the day when they might need to calm a little bit, take a breath, to realize that everything's okay. So that's where these two ideas for the blends came along. We have adult versions of these that can kind of do some similar things. They're very strong. Sometimes kids don't like the aroma quite as much, so we wanted to make sure the aromas of these were right on for what kids would like. Thinker. This helps to instill a sense of focus. This is one that I use with my kids during homework time, for example. They get home from school, they're tired. They don't want to do homework sometimes. They don't want to practice their instrument when we're doing that. We put a little bit of this on, it's kind of like, okay, I'm focused now. I can do this, and they can. And the wonderful thing is, as you're using Thinker, you're also encouraging their brain into a state where it can remember that focus. So I will use this, for example, as my daughter sits down to practice her piano. And then the next time I put it on, it's a signal to her brain that it's time to practice the piano. You get into this nice now routine where we're training that brain to know what to expect. Okay? This has vetiver, peppermint, clementine, rosemary. These are oils that are scientifically studied to be able to help the brain function and focus to its highest capacity. So we wanted these oils to really support those little brains as they're doing what they do best, which is learn. Now, Calmer. I don't know about you or your kids, but for me and my kids, we get to the end of the day sometimes, it is hard to turn those thoughts down, to stop thinking about the 50 things we didn't get done that day and the 100 things we have have to get done the next day. What we like to do is we like to come together in the night. And each of my kids in turn, I'll have them lie on the floor and I'll take their little feet and I'll massage calmer into their feet. And as I do, I have them talk to me about their day so they can process what has happened. Right? They can tell me what they're worried about. They can tell me what they were excited about. And as we do that, again, we're creating in their mind this routine, this sense of calm and purpose, and this idea that I'm in a safe place. It's okay to go to sleep now, right? That's a connection that you can make with a child or with a friend. Like I said, these aren't just for kids necessarily. If you can think of a friend who might benefit from this. The beauty of these oils is they already come in a very convenient roller bottle. They already have a nice carrier oil with them, perfect for massage. So they're wonderful in a lot of different circumstances. Okay, so we all know that people, and especially kids, need sometimes that little extra support as they're going out into the world to make sure their bodies are functioning the best they can. So we wanted to, in the body category, have some essential oils that really supported that when it came to kids. So we've got Stronger and Rescuer. Now, these, we use them maybe not quite as regularly as the ones we just talked about, but they are very important when we need them. Stronger, we tend to use at certain times of the year when we know they need that little extra boost going out into the world. Lots of people are feeling not their best at their school. Stronger is wonderful on the bottoms of the feet before I send them out the door to go to school. And Rescuer, sometimes they'll come home from school, they're not feeling very well, they're feeling run down, they're feeling tired. I've got some kids that are growing like weeds, and they get some of the aches that come along with growing so quickly. And Rescuer is wonderful to help their little bodies feel some comfort. Let me show you what that looks like. The Stronger has cedarwood, lutea, frankincense, and rose. Now, that might seem like an interesting combination. We picked each of those very specifically to help support little bodies, little immune systems to function at their best. Rose might seem the most surprising, but it turns out that's one of our strongest essential oils, helping to support a healthy growth, healthy immune system, all those things that we want kids to have. Lutea, that one's similar to lemongrass, very strong, but gentler in a lot of ways than lemongrass, which is why we selected that for this blend. We wanted the kids to have the benefits of lemongrass in their lives, but in a gentle form, so it wouldn't irritate their skin. Then cedarwood and frankincense. We know the benefits of the woods, of the trees, of having that in their life. Frankincense, one of our very most powerful essential oils when it comes to supporting the immune system in the body. So this is a wonderful blend. My kids really love this on the bottom of their feet in the morning. Rescuer. This helps reduce tension, soothing to muscles. I have a little boy. He's actually not so little. He's about as big as I am. He's 12 years old. And he comes home to me sometimes and he says, Mom, I hurt, I ache, I'm so tired. He has a gym class where they have to run and do jumping jacks and push-ups and all the things that, keep kids active, but then he comes home and he can feel it. And I say, you know what, we got an answer. We break out the Rescuer, give him a nice massage, again, let him talk through those feelings and those experiences. He goes away feeling much better. And so do I, because I feel like we've empowered him to do something about that. So Rescuer, wonderful combination, copaiba, lavender, spearmint, and a new oil called xanthoxylum. Now this is a bush. You may not be very familiar with this one, but it's a bush that's used topically to help relieve those feelings of tension, to help the skin and the muscles really feel a lot more calmed and soothed. So we wanted to make sure that that was kind of one of our secret ingredients in this particular blend. The aroma is amazing. If you haven't smelled this one, it's very smooth and sweet. You wouldn't think it does anything at all, but you put it on the skin and you just feel this amazing release of tension. So I encourage you to give that one a try. Okay, so now the heart. Again, we wanted kids to feel empowered to talk about their emotions, to process their emotions. We know that today, more than ever before, there are issues with anxiety, with depression, with suicide. Even in our kids, our young kids. We know that there are ways that we can combat that we can support their processing of the emotions, that the emotions aren't bad, that they just need to be able to have a safe space to share them, and a way that their mind can know, okay, I'm connecting with someone, I'm connecting with mom as she rubs these on me, I'm connecting with my own feelings as I rub them on myself and I realize I need them. That was what the idea was behind this particular part of the kids' kit. So, steady, grounding blend, and brave, courage blend. Lots of kids, most kids, can benefit from these two blends, I would say, and these are some of our absolute favorites. One of my daughters, her favorite blend of all the whole kids' kit is the steady blend. And in the night, when I'm rubbing their feet, rather than calmer, like I'm using for most of my kids, she has me rub steady on her feet. Because as she talks through her feelings, she says, Mom, I just feel so much better. I feel connected when I put steady on. And then my other daughter, her favorite blend to carry with her to school is brave. She sometimes struggles a little bit, making friends, feeling connected with others. But she's told me that the way that she made her best friend was by saying, I've got something in here. It helps me feel better. Would you like to smell it? And so her friend smelled that blend and she said, that's amazing. Can I have some? And I was a little bit nervous because I thought, oh my gosh, she's putting oil on somebody else. But it turns out that she said, actually, you need to ask your mom. So the little girl went home and asked her mom. And the mom said, sure. So they spent recess putting brave on each other. And they had a wonderful connection that way. So these are amazing blends. Steady may be my favorite one too. Have I said that about some of the other oils? I probably have, because they're all my favorite. I love them so much. But this one really makes me think of kind of a walk in the forest. It's got your combination of trees and flowers, and it just is this fresh, beautiful blend that makes me feel like, okay, I've got my moment in the forest. It really is quite a grounding blend for me as well. It's one of my favorites to rub on my kids when they need it. It evokes a calm and balanced mood. We want those feelings of relaxation, of feeling grounded, feeling connected. And that's really what steady is intended to do. And then brave. We want our kids to promote those feelings of self-worth, of believing in yourself, of not being afraid to say to your friend, hey, do you want to smell something amazing? And then to have the friend say, I would, and to create a connection. So brave has wild orange, amorous, osmanthus, beautiful flower, and then a little touch of cinnamon. That's spice and that fire to really get kids going. So this blend is a fantastic one to kind of get started. If you need, your kid's got a test that day, I'll say, have you got your brave? They'll be nervous. I'll say, you don't need to be nervous. You've got this power in your pocket. Brave is one of the great ways to do that. So, this is my littlest. This is the one who was in the scientist coat. And she just turned 7 years old. This picture was taken, I think, when she was about 5, after the kids kit first came out in the United States. And this picture was taken one day. I'd gotten home from work, and I'd probably put in, I don't know, a 10 or 12 hour work day. And I was exhausted. I got home from work, and there was still laundry to be done, and dinner to be fixed, and the house was a mess, and I was feeling stressed out. But like a mom, sometimes you just can't stop, right? You've got to keep going. So I was going. And my little 5-year-old comes up to me and grabs my hand and she says, "Mom, are you stressed?" And I said, "Yes, can you tell?" And she said, "Uh-huh." And what she did, without even another word, is she went and got her little kid's kit. And she unzipped it and she said, "Mom, sit down." So we did. And she got that oil, calmer. She knew which oil to get. And she rubbed it across my head. She said, "Mom, just tell me what's going on." And you can tell from my face, you can't see it, but I was crying a little bit. Because I thought, my 5-year-old understands. She knows how to use these oils for me, which means she knows how to use them for herself too. She'll sometimes use them with her sisters, or her brother, or her dad. And I think that is the power of this kit. That is why we made this kids kit, to empower our littlest ones. We want them to feel safe using essential oils, so we came up with the safest formulations we could. We want them to have a way that it's convenient, so we put them in little roller bottles that won't spill.